Hello, how you guys doing today? It's your boy Greg Parchment, Gregory Parchment. Thank you again for joining me today. This is gonna be my second video that I'm posting here. Uh, so so today I want to talk about something interesting that happened, right? So we have the Olympics going on, and Miss Simone Biles, she had a disappointing performance in the Olympics where she did a floor exercise and she basically wasn't able to perform a 2.5 twist in her floor exercise routine where she usually nails it and does a really good job. She's one of the best gymnasts ever, but this time she wasn't able to do it. And at first, she thought she was hurt. She goes to the locker room and she's like, "Yo, what's going on? I'm hurt," and all those things. But she goes to the doctor and the doctor tells her she's okay. And she agrees with him, yeah, I feel good. I feel like I can go ahead and, do what I got to do. But then she decides to not continue her performance. She decides to not continue or quit. I call it quitting. I was trying to find a better word, but I don't know what else to say. She basically quit. And, she wasn't hurt, and she cited mental health issues as the reason why she didn't want to continue. Okay? Now, for me personally, I don't think you can really take away from all the things that she has done as a gymnast. She's still going to be historically known as one of the best gymnasts ever. I don't think that's in any dispute at all. But man, I tell you, oh boy, that is, oh damn, that is a little crazy to me that you or anybody, how it's just so commonplace to be able to just cite mental health as a way of getting out of personal responsible things. Like I'm really really looking forward to seeing how bad, what like specific examples she's gonna cite that she couldn't perform, because you still got your teammates, you're still in the middle of competition. So all of a sudden now it's okay for somebody to just say, "Oh, I can't continue because mental health." I mean, that just doesn't seem very competitive. So I don't know what's wrong with her. To be honest, I'm waiting for an explanation, but ultimately, you know what? I don't think there's really an excuse for what she did. I think, unless you have like some sort of physical issue that you're dealing with, I think that you need to, perform. But she chose not to perform, but, she's got to take the criticism that comes with it. Now, there's definitely going to be some people who definitely defend her and say that mental health is something that is something to be taken seriously. And I'm not saying it shouldn't be taken seriously. I don't know what her problem is. That's kind of the problem that I have with the whole situation. It's just like so general, it's so vague. Like like if there's a problem, what steps can we take to solve it? Now, maybe she's telling people that can help her more specifically what her problem is. I don't know. And that's fine. But honestly, when somebody kind of cites mental health as a problem and they're not really giving specifics, they're just saying mental health, I got so and so. I don't care whether it's you're competing with the Olympics. I don't care if you're doing the French Open in tennis. I don't care if you're missing work at the job. I think you need to kind of give a more specific excuse than that. But I guess you gotta. It's tough to kind of talk about it. I was talking about it with some friends, and they were kind of jumping on me about it. because I wasn't really like coddling her and making excuses for her like they were. But I'm sorry, like I see people go through a lot and still get through the things that, you know, they need to get through and still be able to perform, and they do just fine. And I don't think that that's a good enough excuse to just kind of let your teammates down. I think that's completely unfair to them, and I think it's unfair to the country that they were expecting her to compete, and you did not just you not even like competed. It'd be one thing to compete and just not have a and just have a bad day, but you just quit. I mean, you just said I'm not even gonna try anymore. Like I think that's just I think that looks really bad. Um, and you know, if you look and my friends tried to bring up her history of all the trauma she went through as a child. I think she was somebody who was adopted. Her real parents gave her up, and she dealt with they described it as childhood hunger, and I guess she was a victim of a sexual abuse issue. And that's obviously that is bad, and that is something that I don't. I'm glad that she doesn't have to deal with anymore. But she won a gold medal in 2016. So it's like, okay, you went through all that, but you overcame it so that you can be a champion in 2016. So how exactly is those same issues in play in 2021 when you are as richer than you ever been, you're more stable in your life than you've ever been. So all that stuff doesn't really play to me, like it doesn't really factor in it. I don't think it really has any relevance to her not performing in 2021. So all of a sudden, she just had a flashback of an issue that she had as a childhood, so she can't compete now. That's not an excuse. I'm sorry, that's not, in my opinion. So, and it's the same thing with Naomi Osaka. Naomi Osaka, she's a big time tennis player, works, plays all over the world. She's ranked, I believe she's ranked in the top 10. She's won at least two majors that I know of. And she's just a, very good and a great tennis player. I mean, you won a major, you're great, probably. So, yeah, I'll give her great. She's a great tennis player. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, she decides, oh, I can't talk to the media. I can't talk to the media, and she cites mental health. But and again, what does that have to do with you talking to the media? Like, how is that affecting your mental health that you have to talk to the media? You know, that doesn't fly. I'm glad the WTA and the French Open stood up to her and be like, no, you can't just decide that you can't talk to the media when everybody else has to talk to the media. And she ended up basically quitting the French Open. Then she quit the Wimbledon. I'm not sure if she's going to play in the U.S. Open or not. But if she does play in the U.S. Open, she will be answering questions. So I think at the time, her sister was saying, yeah, she really doesn't want to play in the French Open, or she doesn't want the added pressure of playing in the French Open because she hasn't been that good in clay. So I don't know if that had anything to do with the fact that she decided to quit Wimbledon so that she would make people think that, oh, it wasn't just what her sister said, it was, oh, I really have a problem. But you know what? She's doing a lot of other things that are putting her in the limelight. She just did a Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover. A lot of media there, a lot of cameras, but you didn't have a problem with that. But talking to reporters is somehow bad for your mental health. And no, again, I'm not an employer, so I don't know what people have to go through when when employees give these issues. All I know is that I think that there's just a rampant amount of people that are just like citing these issues. But you know what, man? Like at some point, you got to get stuff done. You have to. You can't just say that I'm just gonna take all this time off, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. There's gonna be things that you have to do that are uncomfortable. You know, I would like to be a big YouTube guy. I don't necessarily like talking into a camera, but I got to do it in order for me to reach maybe a goal of mine that I'm trying to meet. So I got to do this stuff. Or if I, or I'm going to have to debate with people that maybe may make me feel uncomfortable, may have to challenge some of my positions, challenge some of my worldviews, but I have to do it at some point if I'm going to reach my goals. So, I think that I think that it's disappointing. It's very disappointing to see that Simone did that, and I can't. I think these mental health things need to be taken on a case by case basis. Because I have an aunt that has real mental illness. She is suffers from a type of mental retardation. She is, she can't really speak well. She needs help eating. She needs help bathing. She's really sick. That's mental illness to me. That is real mental illness to me. You know, and I think when you see something like that, that is something that is obvious. It's not something that is like, oh, I'm tired. I don't feel like I'm depressed, so I can't go to work today. A lot of people get up and go to work and they're not feeling good and they're sad and I don't know how like people mix these things with whatever. The same thing with Richard Sherman, who had some sort of episode where he was like acting violent, getting drunk, and just acting a fool, and just ended up being arrested, fighting cops and everything like that. Then he cited mental health. Like, dude, mental health did not cause you to drink, and get drunk. If you have a drinking problem, don't drink. If you have some issue with, you know, your wife or whatever, or whoever you are having a problem with, then you don't need to be. You need to see somebody, or you need to, acknowledge, do better to work on your anger or whatever. But would not put that on the same wavelength of mental health, or having some sort of mental illness or whatever, because your anger can be controlled. Your anger, the ability to not drink, can be controlled. Some people really have a problem and it's not under their control, and I think we're mixing up the two. You know, you some people just don't want to be in like I think honestly with the Simone Biles, this is just my honest opinion, I think she was embarrassed that she didn't perform up to her usual championship standards, and when she realized that she wasn't hurt, she just kind of didn't want to perform anymore. And that's her choice to do it, but then that's the spectator's choice to say that she quit on her team, and it's her teammates' choice to say she quit on the team. So people are gonna have their opinions about it, but I just think she quit. And if you don't have some sort of physical injury, that is not a good look as far as I'm concerned. So I just, you know, I just like, we all have responsibilities as adults. We all have things that we, have to take care of, you know, and if we don't take care of those things, then bad things are gonna happen. Gotta work to pay bills. You can't tell your employer how many days you're gonna tell your employer that you're like hiding behind mental health, or that you're some sort of mental health, so you can't come in. At some point, they're gonna say, "I need you to come in, or you can't work here no more." Or maybe there's some sort of like legal things that they can do to try to, but just off straight integrity, you agree to work a certain amount of hours, work a certain full-time hours or whatever. I think you should do it. You know, I know for me, I know I try hard to go into work every day and do what I have to do to fulfill my obligations at my job so that I can get my money. And like I said, if I was an employer, I would look at somebody sideways if they kept like missing work and saying that they, you know, had mental health issues or whatever, and I didn't see some sort of real, concrete, plausible problems or whatever. So that would just be me. Because I just there's certain people in my life that I see going to work every day and not making excuses and just do what they have to do and work as hard as they can. I can't really just like it just seems weird when somebody does that. But some people do that, and obviously some people think it's a real problem. I don't know, but if you think differently, you're more than welcome to comment, say what you got to say, and I will respond. Thank you for listening to me, and appreciate you listening to my commentary. Thank you very much. All right, bye.